when it comes to NFT and Web3, I think approach it with an open mind. And just like learning any new skill, be consistent with it. I don't think you're not just gonna buy one NFT and, you know, make it big. Or you're not gonna buy one NFT and just say, okay, yeah, I know what it is now. It takes time.
Welcome to the Land Life Podcast with your host, PJ Riley.
Hey guys, welcome to the LandLife Podcast. My name is PJ Riley. Guys, if you're getting value from this podcast, if you're learning a ton, and today you are going to learn an obscene amount of information about the tech world. No real estate people today. Nobody selling you tents. Nobody doing anything brick and mortar. This is all going to be in Web 3 and probably some Web 2. Calvin's a super smart guy, so I'm just going to ask him questions and try to keep up with him. Guys, if you are getting value from this, though, leave comments, like, subscribe, and follow us on all the different platforms. We have TikTok, we got YouTube, we're all over the place. So look for us, follow us, all that good stuff. And guys, if you are interested in buying and selling vacant land, kind of like I do, hit me up on any social media site or landlifecourse.com. Calvin Toe, how are you?
I am good, man. I am good.
So Calvin Toe are you the CEO then of Chapter 2 Creative?
Yeah. Founder, CEO of Chapter 2 Creative. So originally started as a software development agency and then transitioned into an NFT development agency, niche down to NFTs because I just once I learned about it, I was like, okay, this is going to be the future. I want to be the agency that does it when the rest of the world catches up.
Yeah. Okay. So Calvin is gonna explain to us, because we're all older, probably not as hip, not as techie as Calvin. The world of NFTs. Now, Calvin, first of all, let's start out with the basics. What is NFT? What does that stand for?
Gotcha. So NFT stands for non-fungible token.
Okay.
So to understand that, we first need to understand the history of the internet. So just a quick overview. We're going to bring back what Web 1 is, Web 2, and now we're going into Web 3. So what Web 1 was when the internet first started and we had pages like Wikipedia that we could only read data off of. Like it was something that it was just strictly for articles, news, blogs, like something we go to a website and we just read. And that's what Web 1 is for. That's kind of how the internet started. And then Web 2 started when social media became a thing, when Facebook revolutionized the internet, because now instead of just reading data, we're able to write data. So now Web 2, you get to read and write data. Basically, you get to go on a website, read whatever information that they have. And in addition to that, you get to add to it. So you get to post, you get a comment, you get to post videos. Now we get to post Instagram, TikToks, when like Vine, when that was a thing. So that was reading and writing data. Now moving on to Web 3, we get to read, write, and now own data. So one of the, I guess, quote unquote pitfalls of Web 2 is all these big corporations own all of our data because they're the ones who created the platform, and we as a user are choosing to use it. So therefore, we have to conform to their rules. Therefore, they take our data and it's all stored in their servers in a giant warehouse in the middle of nowhere. So after all of this, I guess, data privacy and like data concerns, Web3 is changing that, and with blockchain technology. So moving from understanding Web 1, Web 2, Web 3 into blockchain, you can think of blockchain as a global, like a giant global ledger. And all it does is just tracks and tracks transaction. It just keeps records of transactions on just like in the global scale, all digital, no decentralized. Nobody owns it. So you can think about a blockchain like that. And then within a blockchain is unlike the internet, where the internet is just like this one kind of like blob, if you will. Blockchain, though, is not a blob, but because there are multiple blockchains. There isn't like how internet isn't just like oh no, like how there isn't multiple internets.
Yeah.
The opposite is true for blockchain. There are multiple blockchains. So
Okay.
Bitcoin is one blockchain, Ethereum is one blockchain, Solana is one blockchain, and so on and so forth. Um, and within these blockchains, there are tokens, and that's how we translate, I guess, like value or currency within a blockchain. So like in the real world, like our equivalent to that is like cash or money. And it's like, how do we translate cash and money into the digital world? Like, how do we like transact something? And then,
Yeah.
so then on the blockchain, like tokens was what was created, or cryptocurrency. And then that's what became like a transfer of value, or quote unquote cash or money on the blockchain. So within these tokens, there are two types of tokens. Almost there to the end. There are two types of tokens. There are fungible tokens, and then there are non-fungible tokens. So your fungible tokens, basically fungible means you can reproduce it, you can copy it. Similar in the real world, we have cash, we have money. We could just print more money. That is fungible. And then non-fungible is the opposite, meaning there can only exist one copy. You can't reproduce it, you can't copy it, you can't like duplicate it. It's unique. So it's a non-fungible token, which is an NFT. So at its
Okay.
core, yeah, it's a long explanation short. At its core, an NFT is it's a unique digital asset or token on a blockchain.
Okay, that was actually the best definition or explanation of Web 1, 2, and 3 that I've ever heard. It was
Thank you.
simple. It was easy to understand. No, that was great. That was and I just learned something brand new, because that was, I didn't know the difference, honestly, between all those things. You hear them all the time, but I didn't really understand, the difference between all of them. Now, so there's all these blockchains, right? I understand the internet currently now. I can go onto any website and purchase something with my credit card, right? And use regular money. Now, so there's multiple blockchains in our future. Are they going to be talking to each other? Or when I go onto, like, say, a Bitcoin blockchain product or service, am I going to be able to use Solana's money, or will I have to have Bitcoin money as well?
Gotcha.
Bitcoins as well. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. My prediction is the future is it's going to be a multi-blockchain future. I don't think there's going to be just one that takes over in a way, because each blockchain has its pros and cons.
Mhm.
Um, like for example, Ethereum uh is or at in its current state before prior to the merge that's going to happen. Basically the merge, what the merge is going to do to Ethereum is it's going to turn it from a proof of work consensus to a proof of stake consensus. But currently in its Ethereum at its current state, it's not the fastest blockchain. Um, but it is secure. It can't do as many transactions as it can compared to Solana, for example. So there are pros and cons to Ethereum, and then that's also how the other blockchains start, because other people are like, hey, what is Ethereum doing well, and what is it not doing well, and let's create a blockchain that kind of does like things that they want to prioritize. So then like Solana compared to Ethereum, Solana is much faster, can do way more transactions per second. But because of the way it's handles their consensus, they're not as secure. And also that's why like you've heard Solana being down multiple times out throughout this year. And even though it's climbed its ranks as one of the top blockchains, as a top blockchain being down for so many times throughout the year, like it's not how should I say, not um
The future doesn't look good.
in a way, yeah.
It doesn't make me feel comfortable when I would buying something from Solana or being on that blockchain if it's going to crash all the time.
Yeah. But again, back to your question, like that's why I see it, the future is a multi blockchain or multi-chain.
Okay.
And yeah, I think, or I would like the future to be able to have cross-chain functionality, where say you are on you're utilizing blockchain. I mean not blockchain. You're a Bitcoin, and you want to talk to Ethereum or Solana or another blockchain. Uh, I think that would be super cool because then you're not confining yourself, whether as a business or um, a service. You're not really confining yourself within one blockchain because
Yeah.
then that just would defeat the purpose. I feel like of having so many different blockchains.
Sure. Well, as far as like making purchases and stuff, that would almost be like just different currencies, kind of like we do now. So if I am, I have American dollars and I want to buy something, in, I don't know, British pounds, right? I can still do that electronically and it's an automatic conversion. Um, you think at some point that's going to have to happen or one takes over, right? Bitcoin, Solana, or one we have never even heard of that hasn't even been invented yet will take over, or they're all going to have to work together at some point. Otherwise, you're going to just have people, it's just going to be so confusing. Do I have enough Bitcoins? Do I have
Right.
enough Solana coins? It's just going to be really difficult. I can see monopolies happening that way too. The only way you can buy, I don't know, bread is if you have Bitcoin, and if you're out of Bitcoin, you can't buy bread or food or,
Right.
the
Exactly.
only way you can buy a car is if you have Solana. It's just going to be very confusing. So there's going to have to be a way where they communicate, right?
Yeah, definitely. No, that's a really good point. And that's also why I believe like it is a multi-chain future, and like that has to specifically for buying things. I feel like it has to do what like foreign currency, like how we buy stuff in another country today, where you just could swipe a credit card and it just works.
Yes.
I feel like because we're as a user, we are already used to that experience. We swipe a credit card, whether I'm in Mexico or in China, like it just works. I don't know about China. We'll see, maybe. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I just think like because like that design, that pattern has already existed, and this is what humans and our buying behaviors are used to, like that
Yeah.
user experience or that buying experience shouldn't change or wouldn't change, or
Yeah.
ideally it wouldn't.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Let's hope they can. Maybe you can do it. You're a really smart guy. You can figure that out. That's the future. I just want to put this on record now. I know Calvin now before he became the guy that combined all the blockchains. Okay, so
Yeah.
in summary, I guess Web3, these multiple blockchains are basically like the internet we understand now. Just you get to keep part of that internet, part of that online. Gosh, what would we even call it? Online items. You get to keep those versus someone else getting them.
In a way, the paradigm is from Web 2 to Web 3. The paradigm of quote unquote owning is a um a bit like obscure,
Yeah.
because yes, I say read, write, and own. You get to own your own data, but the data that you say, the NFT that you buy, it's not stored in your wallet. we use the word store and
Hmm.
maybe yeah, store as a way so people just understand it better. But what's actually happening is what your wallet is more of a key, and it's a key, and the NFT that you buy, or if, as for this example, the NFT is still living in the blockchain. What the wallet does is you have a private and public key pair that just proves that you own it.
Okay,
That
I
makes
gotcha. Okay,
so
so you basically have it in storage. You have it in a storage unit. Now you have the
yeah.
key to that storage unit. You can go over there to, I don't know, whatever the name of the storage unit is, and you're the only one with the key to access that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like imagine a giant Ethereum storage unit or storage facility.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own key. Um and oh and because of the blockchain, it's so this every storage unit imagine has like clear or glass doors. So you can see what
Okay.
you can see everything, but you can't access it because you don't
Okay.
have the key. And that's what a wallet is essentially. It's a key proving you have access or proving you own the NFT, this amount of tokens, and whatever else that you store in quotes on your wallet.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I can understand though how some people would be a little bit hesitant, especially in today's current climate, as far as hacking goes. If you tell somebody who's maybe even not a big internet user now, that, hey, in the future, this is how it's going to look, they're going to say, absolutely not. Somebody's going to go in and see the stuff that I have, and then what if they hack into it and take it? It's going to take a lot of convincing, uh, just over years of people like you explaining things to, your average consumer, I guess, explaining to people how to use all this stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. Oh, definitely. But I also believe that the future isn't just going to be Web3. I think
Mm,
there are things that are meant to be decentralized, and then there are things that aren't. I think it's going to be we're going to, throughout the years or decades, we're going to find that medium where we decentralize the things that should be. For example, like ticketing. I think ticketing should be decentralized, or at least used as NFTs, because uh, it just to me it just makes sense in terms of how NFTs or like the definition of NFTs, how they're unique and how they're you can't make copies of them, and you could use them as uh to prove ownership. So as a
yeah,
ticket, like in today's world, like yeah, you can scan a QR code, but at the same time it's still centralized on like Ticketmaster's server.
yeah,
Who's to say, there's you could easily like say people are printing out tickets. You could easily copy and paste that. You could fake that. You could screenshot a PDF on your phone. Like,
yeah.
there's so many ways you can fake it and and sell fraudulent tickets.
But can't I do that with an NFT? And we'll talk about NFTs here in a second. But prior to that, can I just so I see a picture of an ape, right? Can I cut and paste that picture or do a screenshot of that picture and take that as well?
You can do it, but you won't own it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing like in the real world. If you took a picture in front of a Lamborghini you saw on the street and it said it was yours, like anybody could take a picture of it, but the real owner is the one who holds the key.
I gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, let's shift a little bit to the actual NFTs.
Mhm.
So late last year, I decided I'm going to get into this world of NFTs and crypto and all this kind of stuff. And I went online and I was like researching and I started buying these pictures of, I don't know, zombies and cats and all this stuff. And I would get them. You would have to wait to a certain day to where the owner would release maybe 400 of these things, right? It'd be called the mint day, I guess. Um, and I'd get these things and I'd buy them, and I really wasn't sure why I was buying them, but I was told in the future this is going to have higher value. Explain what that is, what NFTs are as far as these avatars, and are they still a viable thing?
Gotcha. So what you explained are NFT projects that revolve mainly under, or in my head, I separate NFTs into like three buckets. It's like my mental model
Okay.
of NFTs. The first bucket I put it into is intellectual property. So that's mainly the NFTs that we've been seeing, all these different pictures of apes and monkeys and robots, and goblins. So that's like all intellectual property. It's mainly revolving around artwork. The second bucket that I put it in is more the collectibles, um, or yeah, the collectibles, um, and less of less of the artwork, more of like trading cards
Okay.
where you get to where it's mainly just for collecting. And then the third bucket I put it in is just it's like non-monetary utility, meaning it's uh meaning where the project is leveraging the NFT technology, but not in a way where it was made to make money with it. For
Okay. Explain
example,
that last one.
yeah. For example, um, th- uh, tweets. Yeah, that'll be a good one. Tweets could be NFTs, as in,
Hmm.
it will leverage the power of the NFT technology, how it's unique, can't be copied, and it's proven that like whoever tweeted it owns it. So that way, people can't be misquoted. People can't have stuff taken from them or like what they say taken from them. And many times you will hear a quote, but you never really know who it's from, and or you've heard a quote and you think it was from a certain person, and then that's just who you go by.
Yeah.
But if it was an NFT, you could always trace back to the original owner of said tweet. Another example of it is public um, medical records or public like health records.
Yeah.
Um, if those were NFTs, then the public, us, we will always know or have a track of when it changes. Because on a blockchain, it's a ledger and it tracks the changes. So therefore, there's a transparency between whoever is sourcing that data, and the people who are viewing it, the general public. So whoever is sourcing that data, maybe CDC, they can never lie about it. They can't
Ah.
say 1 year, you know, maybe there was flu, and then 1 year there wasn't. It's like, and we could track that because it's on a blockchain. But right
That's
now we
interesting.
can't. Whatever they put out is what we see. We can't be like, oh, 4 years ago, it said this. Um, it's just whatever's on their website. So that is leveraging the NFT or more specifically the blockchain technology, and that's what I mean by non-monetary utility.
Yeah, that's super interesting, that last part. I didn't even think about that. So I can understand why maybe certain people would not want this to happen. They don't, I mean, for centuries, since the beginning of time, you can just, a lot of times people at the top, and I'm not going to get in super political thing here, but can say literally whatever they want. Right? I mean, even a parent can tell their child something, and it's a little white lie. Don't worry, I'm just trying to get you to do what I want you to do. But if it's trackable, and we know anybody can look it up, the CDC or any government organization could say something, and I could go check it out see if they're lying or not.
Right.
That probably, I can understand how that would make a lot of people not happy. People at the top maybe not super happy about that,
For sure.
because I mean, you say it however you want, and it does not matter which political side you're on. Manipulation is huge in government.
Yeah.
It's huge in the media. It's huge
Yeah.
in every aspect of life. Regardless, it's not just a communism type thing. It's all over the world. People manipulate to get the things they want. And if you can have something like this to where it doesn't exist, you're not able to do that, because literally everybody can check you. That's super interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's just like fact checking to
Yeah.
a whole new game or new level.
And
Um,
everybody can do it. It's not
right.
just I have to go to this news anchor to get my
Yeah, like
information or
let me go hire this third party fact checking service that I
yeah,
may have talking to behind curtains or behind closed doors. You know, it's everything is transparent on the blockchain. That's the beauty of it.
yeah. That's super interesting. So I
But
want to
yeah,
know,
I digressed a little.
what's that?
Digressed a little from your original question.
That's fine. This is good stuff, man. I like this. Super interesting. Like I'm learning along with everybody else though, because you know it's very you see it online. You see things like NFTs, crypto, Web3, all these terms, and a lot of people don't understand it. It is confusing. It's not easy to understand. So now you're doing a really good job of explaining everything so that guys like me can understand that. So what you're saying though too is my pictures of fish and dogs and all that stuff. It's probably not worth much, right?
Well, I don't know what you have, so
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
think
gonna no comment, no comment.
I don't think it's going to be worth much. I think I just gave them a bunch of my money to get some internet pictures of some animals.
Yeah, but
But
it's also a
whatever.
great learning experience. I know I've did the same thing. I have a lot a handful of NFTs that I bought last year that has just gone down. Like the project still was running, but
Mhm.
the value of it has just completely just plummeted. And I just have to stare at it because it's like there's no like you can't just delete it. You know, that's the other thing about the blockchain. There's no delete button. Whatever you put on there stays there forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the NFTs are just sitting in my wallet, and I just had to just look at it every day. And it's like, huh, what a great learning experience.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have pictures of a zombie and a fish and a goblin or something or other, and it's whatever.
yeah.
All right, I got a question for you. Now, this will, what do you consider the future of NFTs in like a 30 second statement? Where do you see the future of NFTs worldwide?
Yeah, the future of NFTs will be everywhere and will be accessed by anyone, just like how everybody has their phones, and everybody will have NFTs. I see it in everybody's everybody's pockets, just like how all our phones, we have access to the internet right in our phones. I think NFTs would just be like that. It will use it just every day without realizing we're using it. Um, just like how we use social media. Like if we really think about it, how powerful your phone is, how powerful just social media is. Like you can connect with someone on the other side of the world. I think just that to like we take advantage of that so much because it's just right in our fingertips that we
Yeah.
don't realize how powerful that is. Um, and I think to NFTs will just continue that. We'll get to a point where we don't even realize we're using blockchain. And it's just gonna be like an everyday thing. And that like just that's how I see it. The future. That's my vision
Okay.
of future
So
of it.
embrace this, guys. Embrace it because it's coming, whether you like it or not. And if it's just like your phone, I remember a lot of people. I'm old enough to remember the internet being brand new. I remember my first time looking at the internet. I remember my first cell phone, and a lot of people didn't like those things. They were nervous. They were like, I don't want the government getting all my information. I don't want to be on this internet so that to where that, everything I do can be watched. I don't want a cell phone where, people are tracking me all the time. But nowadays, pretty much everybody has a cell phone. Everybody uses the internet. The faster you're going to, you incorporate these types of things, the better it's going to be for your future, whether it's business, personal use, finances. It sounds like this is just like that. We're just getting the information now, and we should probably jump a little faster than we did as a community with the phones and with the internet. So let's shift up. Let's shift gears just a little bit. Chapter 2 creative. You run chapter 2 creative. First of all, the name. Where'd you come up with that name?
Yeah, it was during a 3-hour car ride. My girlfriend and I were driving from, this is when I was back in New York. We were driving from Pennsylvania to Rochester, New York. And I was like, all right, like in my head, I was like, I already knew I wanted to start a business. I was like, what what's the name? So in
Yeah.
that car ride, just da 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 da, whatever came to my head, there's no dumb answers, there's no dumb names. Let me just spitball. And then yeah, chapter two was one of the names I came up with, and that stuck because well, first I checked the domain and it was available. So I was like, oh crap, this got to be a sign
Yeah.
because finding a domain is especially with the .com, like that's tough these days. Um,
Definitely.
but yeah, outside of that, there's just two meanings for chapter two, and when I realized that, like the name I just knew it was meant to be. So chapter two, the first meaning is that it's a play on my last name. So my last name is Toe, spelled T-O. And most of my childhood it was pronounced too, and I just didn't care enough to either correct the teacher or uh whoever was calling my name for attendance. Um so two, I play on my last name, and then the second reason is chapter two. The phrase is I want to help businesses move on to their next chapter or their chapter two. So that was like the two interpretations of
That's
it.
awesome. I like that. Super creative. Yeah. Like the best names come from like real life situations, right? Like the
Yeah,
best things, the best names that best business names come up with those real life situations. Okay. So let's say I want to work with you. What kind of business do you work with, first of all? And then what does it look like to come work with chapter two?
yeah. So so far I still haven't gone a niche down. I think I don't know if I want to at the same time because like I've worked with clients from ecom, helping with them with their Shopify sites to building their own applications and web applications to just simple marketing websites, and then now to NFT projects. Um, and I've just been having a blast doing all these different things
Yeah.
that I don't know what niche. But a part of me, like I thought about it like earlier today, and I'm like, maybe like since I do want to stick with NFTs and I know I want to do that, like maybe I could do just ecom. Maybe that's like like it's swirling in my head.
Yeah.
Um, Flirting with that industry. Because a big thing with NFTs and ecom is token gated commerce, which means uh token gated all basically what token gated means is if you hold a certain NFTs, if you hurt wow, I can't speak. If you hold a certain NFT, you're allowed to view this content. So
Okay.
say one of your NFTs you bought, um they made a website and only holders are allowed to log into that, connect your wallet, prove that you own the NFT, and then you're allowed to be on that website, view the content and whatever they upload, whatever they post on there. That is token gated. So take that concept and apply it to e-commerce, where um, unless you're a certain holder, you can't get access to a certain drop or a certain product or maybe discounts. However the store wants to do it. And I think that is like the next, in my opinion, that could be the next chapter or next big thing in e-commerce.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
'Cause right
And
now
I
they're
mean, I
pretty,
don't think a lot of people are using NFTs. I mean, you and I were part of a mastermind group where the vast majority of the people were brick and mortar businesses, right? Um, Now, transitioning them into would it be considered a Web3 world? Would that be a good way to put it?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Into a Web3 world, you can do that, right? Now, there's a lot of industries that they have no idea what this even means. They're going to need somebody who can explain it in plain language, kind of like you did to me earlier. So, finding a niche might be a great idea, but right now you're probably having everybody, like one person from every industry, throw themselves at you. Like, I want to be part of this, but help me fix it, make it for me. Niching down is always a good idea though, as far as how you want to progress in the future. If you have one thing that Calvin is the best at, you are the best at transitioning, I don't know, like you said, e-commerce or real estate into NFTs. Everybody's going to come to you specifically, and everyone's going to already know who you are. They'll know you're the guy. It's not an organization. It's not an industry. There's just Calvin. There's just chapter 2. That's who you go to when you're a real estate wholesaler and you have to switch things to NFTs or Web3. I think niching is super important. So yeah, it's a good idea that you're doing e-commerce.
Yeah. No, for sure. I agree with you. It's is that definitely like you what is it called? Like depth versus breadth.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah,
absolutely. You kind of feel like you're going to miss out on all these people if you don't if you don't help everybody, but you really can't, especially a young guy like you. In the future, you can, if you imagine 10 years down the road and you are the number one e-commerce Web3 guy. That's massive. That's huge versus you're just a guy that helps everybody. You know what I mean? You can absolutely really make your mark in the world, in the business world, especially it's niching down like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's why I thought about it because I know that it needs to happen if I want to progress further, want to keep progressing.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you run this business? Are we using virtual assistants? Do you have like a big, huge team? Like if you turn the camera, is there like this mega room of people working away, or like, what does this look like?
Majority of it is honestly just myself. I have another developer that I've been working closely with for the past 2 years. He's actually also in Denver.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, he's more of I call him my lead engineer because he's full stack. He does front end, back end, mobile. Like he's a super smart guy.
Wow.
And yeah, that's mainly the bulk of it. I usually like unless a client or a project is large enough that I need to start like looking for other devs or designers, like I usually just keep it between us two. Or if it's small enough, I just do it myself.
Yeah.
So it's like super infancy right now. That's why it's just two of us.
Yeah. I think the
And
industry is in its infancy.
yeah.
The entire idea, the fact that I've been in business for I don't know how many years, and I know a lot of people that have been in business for a long time that have never heard of this, or maybe heard about it and had no idea what it was about. This is the opportunity that you have to
Yeah, and that
forward.
was a big reason why I made that pivot. Because when I first learned about it back in 2020, was on Clubhouse, that an audio app, and then from there, I literally just I went into any room that had the letters NFT on it, and just learned and just sat there, and just learned so much. And because I'm in a tech industry myself, like my background's in software development, I'm a software engineer. I'm like, okay, this is new technology. I should learn this.
Yeah.
And then the more I learned about it, the more I just kept having this feeling that it was something that I'm meant to do, that it felt almost like a calling. Like I was meant to find a way to shape or help contribute and shape the future of Web3 and NFTs in some way, shape, or form. And after that feeling, I was like, okay, there's just like I have to do something about it. So start investing in NFTs, learning more about it, start going to NFT conferences, meeting other people in the space, and just doing everything I can to just make my mark in the
Yeah,
space, if you
that's
will.
you're a super smart guy, man. What does the future look like for chapter 2 and you? Like what is on the horizon for you guys?
Yeah, mainly help. Well, first getting building our brand in the NFT space. So, knowing that Chapter Two is even an NFT agency or development agency. I think right now, because I created the name without the intention or without even knowing what NFTs were. Uh, it doesn't really scream NFT. So I think that's the first thing is learn figure out how to pivot that branding.
Yeah,
Because I already make NFT related videos on my personal Instagram. Now I just got to do it for chapter two.
yeah,
And work wise, I just help small businesses transition. I just It's just a gut feeling that every business will use NFTs in some way, shape, or form. And every new business that starts will have NFTs in it. It will just be like on that list of things that you need to do when you start a new business, like how you need a business bank account, you need a website, you need um, and whether it's a PO box or a business address. Like there's these things that you just need when you
yeah.
start a new business, and I believe NFTs will be on that list in the future.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. As far as the name goes, too, Chapter Two Creative, it's a great name and it means something. It doesn't need to be like NFTs for you or anything like that. I mean, if you look at any other organizations too, look at things like Apple. I mean,
Right.
Apple. It's not like computers dot. It's not a computer. It doesn't have anything to do with internet, computers, or anything like that, right? It doesn't say anything. Walmart. I mean, we all know what Walmart is, but the name Walmart just doesn't sound. It's a bizarre name, right? It doesn't have anything to do with grocery stores and cheaper goods, I guess.
Yeah, no.
So point is, yeah, chapter 2 creative. The name's awesome, and as if more people knew about it, the more people you work with, the bigger it's going to get too. So,
Mhm.
um, so if somebody wanted to find out if they wanted to go learn about NFTs and Web3, what's one place they can go to?
Ooh, one place. My Instagram.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit up Calvin on Instagram. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Where else can people find out about you?
They're mainly my Instagram. That's where I post NFT related content or programmer related content. And that's yeah. I swear to on TikTok, but not as active.
If I'm on TikTok, Calvin, you can be on TikTok. You're a lot younger than me. You can
I'm
be on TikTok too. So I'll get some dancing videos going.
oh no, I'm
All
I don't know about that one. Uh,
right, Calvin, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
yeah, I just when it comes to NFT and Web3, I think approach it with an open mind. And just like learning any new skill, be consistent with it. I don't think you're not just gonna buy one NFT and make it big. Or you're not gonna buy one NFT and just say, okay, yeah, I know what it is now. It takes time. Like I've been learning and still learning about this space for like almost 2 years now. And I just feel like there's new stuff every week because the space is changing so fast. And also don't get discouraged by how much there is or how much it may feel like there is, because we are still early. And it's weird to say that because I've been saying that for the past year that we are still early. But in the grand scheme of things with Web3 and anything blockchain related, we really are still early. And the sky's the limit with that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is awesome. Calvin, I think I'm very happy I know you now before you take off. I think the future's looking really good for you. And I really appreciate you explaining everything to me and to the listeners here too, because it's a confusing world out there and it's
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's just I just really enjoy talking about the space and just sharing and just like brainstorming and just like brain dumping about it. So yeah, any like anything I could do for you and your community, and explain the world, this world of NFTs and Web3, like anytime, man.
That's
Anytime.
awesome. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. All right, Calvin, here's the big question we ask at the end of every podcast. Are you ready for this? This is the one you have a giant brain, but this one may. All right, here's the question. We are a land life. I mean, I buy and sell vacant land all over the country, right?
Hmm.
If you, Calvin, could own land anywhere in the entire world, where would it be and why?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Anywhere in the world it can be.
I I can't. I don't think I could come up with like a precise location. Um, my Here's the thing, my brain's like splitting into two. Like the business side of me is like saying I should probably find land and in a very like industrialized part of the world, because then that's a great asset. I could just sit and and cash flow off of it.
Yeah,
And then the other side of me is saying I really like the tranquility of staring out into the ocean. So
exactly. Yeah, you can buy both. How about this? You can do both. What city would you buy in, and what island would you live on?
hmm, that's a I'm thinking somewhere dry
Okay.
because I can't deal with humidity.
In Nevada, you're in the perfect place.
Yeah, actually, yeah. If it was like Nevada, if there was a piece of land that's like Nevada, but also not landlocked,
Okay.
uh, I think that would be it. Because
Perfect.
then I could go to the ocean, but also just like stay, but also be in like a dry heat area like
Yeah.
Vegas. If that
And
was a
Central California is kind of like that.
Is it? I don't
Central
know.
and Southern California is pretty fairly dry compared to a lot of parts of the country. You get the beach, you get the land. Let's get you something big out there.
True. Yeah, maybe something there, or maybe yeah, or an island, nice island. I could just
We'll get a
like,
little spot in Fiji as well.
ooh, that'd be nice.
All right,
Where
Calvin, dude, I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, I hope you got a lot out of this. I'm sure you did. Hit up Calvin on Instagram. Ask him 1,000 questions. He's got a giant brain and lots of information. Yeah, guys, until next time, though, I'll see you on Land Life.
peace.